Hey everyone, so in this section we'll be talking about my thoughts on Western Governors University and whether or not their programs are something that you should actually consider in the future. Now hopefully this will act as a starting point for some of your future research. Of course, we can't touch upon all of the points for the particular institution, but hopefully again this will act as a great starting point for you to determine whether or not these programs are actually right for you. Now before we go into it, I also must say this isn't at all a sponsored segment. I just think that these programs that are offered by this institution will be beneficial to people from a variety of different backgrounds. So hopefully, again, this will be a great starting point for you and your future research. Okay, so if you aren't familiar with Western Governors University, they are very well known for offering bachelor's degrees and master's degrees in a variety of different disciplines. And particularly, they have degree options in business, IT, education, and in nursing. Now, the great thing about these programs are the flexible nature that these programs are actually offered in. And what I mean by that is not only the fact that these programs are offered on an online basis, but also because of the fact that these programs also have a very unique pricing structure that's attached, and that's very unique and something that I hope a lot of other institutions will actually adopt as well. And what I mean by this is, as opposed to paying on a per unit basis or a per course basis like many other institutions, you actually pay for the time in which you have access to the courses that pertain to the particular degree that you happen to be working towards. And so as an example, there happen to be 2 semesters that you're going to be working within. It's 6 months at a time, and so you'll pay tuition to have access to all of the courses within your particular degree program, and you essentially can do as many courses as you can within that 6 month period of time before you're required to pay tuition again for the subsequent 6 months. Now this is great for a variety of different factors, but one of the great things is that you have multiple start dates throughout the year, so depending on when it is that you need to actually start or when you can devote the most time to it, you do have some flexibility in that sense. But the other great thing is the fact that if you happen to be in between jobs, as an example, and you have a set period of time where you can devote to your studies, get a ton of courses done in a short period of time, and maybe this will help you pivot to a new career, a new industry, or maybe even expand upon the knowledge that you have, you do have the flexibility to actually do this and get as many courses done within a period of time that you need to. Now, maybe you can't get the whole degree done within 6 months, which is likely going to be the case. However, you may be able to do enough courses where you have enough background knowledge in that particular discipline to get an internship or an entry-level position if you want to be a career switcher, or until you're able to land a full-time position within the particular industry that you want to work in as well. The other great thing about this is if you have other commitments, like you're working full-time, you have personal and professional commitments, and you maybe need to take a little bit longer on some of the courses than you would traditionally like to, then you do have that flexibility as well. As long as you are able to take 4 courses within a semester system, which again is 6 months, then you are going to be on track to do the degree within a reasonable period of time as well. And I do think that 4 courses within a 6 month period of time is fairly reasonable, particularly because you can self-pace throughout the program as well too. And of course, you're going to have access to an advisor that'll work towards your particular degree program with you, and they'll devise a plan that works well with you and your schedule. And there will be tutors that are available to you as well if you happen to need some assistance with a particular course or a particular topic that you don't necessarily understand very well also. One of the things about these particular degrees that really makes them different from a lot of the other programs that you might be considering as well is really the fact that the degrees themselves are very specialized within the particular fields that we happen to outline as well. And what I mean by this is you're not necessarily just confined by a Bachelor of Business Administration. There are a variety of different degrees within the business field that they offer as well. And the same thing within the IT field and within the education field and nursing field as well too. So you do have that flexibility, and even if you work within that field already and you want to specialize in something very specific, or if you want to make a career pivot and go into something very specialized as well too, you do have that flexibility both at the bachelor's and master's level as well. The other great thing about some of these degree programs is really the communities that have developed around some of these degree programs. The nature of the degrees will attract people from a variety of different backgrounds, and so there are great online communities that have formed as a result of the programs that are being offered. So you have people from a variety of different walks of life who are able to support each other, some of which might have a lot of industry experience, some of which might be brand new to the industry, some of which might be working full time, and some of which might not be working right now, and they're just trying to get through the degree program as quickly as possible to get into the working field. And because of this, you're able to foster such a diverse community of people who can help each other both online and in some cases in-person study groups as well. One of the biggest things to keep in mind, again, if you're looking for a degree program such as this, is really whether or not the learning style is actually conducive to you. It's very important for you to remember that there is a certain level of self-motivation that's going to come along with these programs. So of course, you're going to have access to tutors, and there's going to be a lot of online resources to help you through your program as well. But if you are somebody who actually requires to be in a physical classroom setting, you need somebody standing in front of you to actually be able to absorb the information. You need to be working in very close groups with people in a face-to-face basis, then maybe these programs might not necessarily be the best for you. However, I do think these programs are fantastic in that they democratize education in a way that they allow people from a variety of different financial backgrounds, personal backgrounds, to be able to access higher level education in ways that they might not have been able to otherwise. One of the things to keep in mind is the fact that the traditional semester-based program can really keep a lot of great people out of academia because of the timing that exists with it. And what I mean by this is that, if you happen to be coming out of a particular job and you have 6 to 8 months to kind of regroup your skills and to repackage some of these skills to, move into a different industry or something, you might not be aligned with a semester-based system. So you might have to apply to a traditional program, wait to see whether or not you're accepted, and actually be able to matriculate in the program when the next semester actually starts. By that point, you might not necessarily have time to actually devote to the program anymore. You're also going to be confined to the number of courses you can actually take on a per semester basis. And so for that reason, it can actually keep a lot of great people out. The other thing to consider is really the tuition associated to that as well. You're going to be paying on a per course or per unit basis, and that could actually make it a lot more costly as opposed to if you were to just pay for the access that you have to these courses so that you can maybe accelerate one semester and then maybe slow down the next semester if you happen to be working. So there are a lot of opportunities for people who have a variety of different working arrangements that they need to actually work around, which is something that makes these programs extremely unique. So I hope that this gave you a very good general introduction and an overview of the programs that are offered. And I'd love to know your comments, questions, and concerns. Have you ever attended Western Governors University? Have you thought about it? Do you know anyone else who has as well? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments section below. As always, thank you so much again for listening. If you appreciated this, please make sure to subscribe and like this segment and leave any suggestions in the comment section below for any future segments that you would like to hear about as well. Thank you again for listening, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.